Acting Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers, Assistant Ministers, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, members of this august House, and ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand here exceedingly humbled by the people of Taileu South, who some 3 years ago chose me as their representative in Parliament. And I promise that I will serve them to the best of my ability. Mr. Speaker, firstly, I would like to wish our Honourable Prime Minister a quick recovery so he can return healthier and stronger to continue to lead our beloved country. Let us continue to pray to our Lord to bestow his healing on our Prime Minister and restore him to full health. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the Governor of Taileu South, who supported me, thus allowing me to briefly serve in this august House. I will state the Governor, and I quote, "Governor wa kurang kumbuna, kurang na tuikamba, kurang na buniwala. Rarau na kelo, kurang na tuina kelo, Governor na imbati, kurang na torne bati. Ore kalau kurang na roh tuido tata. Na itomi wana kurang na tunrau, na de rupu kurang na torne reketi. Wani vivi kurang na ratu na pamaino sori. Na dombua wana kurang na roh tuina mata. Na yomonu wana kurang na roh tuiviwa, na etena na kurang na roh tuikiu. Mr. Speaker, in addition, I would also like to acknowledge the members of my dedicated campaign team. Ratu Tanoa Bisawanga Rakambau, Raturanga Alipating Yataki, Vilaminangia, Usaya Pita Ongatereawa, and the Brotherhood of Matakimbaus, Matakimbau Penisukia, Matakimbau Mosimolo, Matakimbau Manasa, and Matakimbau Sekor. Mr. Speaker, furthermore, I would like to thank all the members of the Taileu South branches and all their respective committee members. I would also like to thank the party agents, observers, poll agents, and all those that volunteered to assist the team during the day of voting. To all the families and relatives who stood and backed me all the way in 2018, I appreciate and thank you all. My maternal family, the Kalumira from Luimbao, I thank them for always being there for me. To my Seniloli family of Novambao, thank you for their unwavering support and encouragement. Mr. Speaker, I've always been fascinated by this august House and all that it entails. The fascination began when I was an undergraduate student in the early 90s. At the time, my late father was Fiji's permanent representative to the United Nations. I at times listened to the speeches at the representative at the UN. My interest was further enhanced when my late father again was elected into Fiji's parliament after his stint in New York. This lifted my aspirations to follow in my late father's footsteps, to serve the people, to work hard, to believe in myself, to be financially prudent, and not to be wasteful. Mr. Speaker, my parents were hardworking and committed secondary school students, secondary school teachers, and taught in a number of secondary schools in Fiji, and contributed to the building of human capital in Fiji. Building human capital is very important for our country today. Our education system needs to respond to the challenges of the 21st century, especially now with COVID. We need to improve online learning at all levels of education. Teachers and students need training in this area, and online learning must have the supporting infrastructure. Today, and with COVID, work is rapidly moving to online services, automation, and digitization. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is the new normal. We must keep up. Mr. Speaker, in addition, we must continue to empower people with continuing education, such as that provided by the universities and APTC. This system of education of giving people a second opportunity must be supported. Mr. Speaker, today I've put up my hand as part of SODELPA party and the opposition. I've put my hand up to do what we are here for, and that is to ask questions and to hold the government accountable. Mr. Speaker, I would like to pay tribute to my predecessor, Honorable Lynda Tabuya, a respected lawyer and an advocate for youth issues and labor rights. This august House will remember her oratory skills as she defends the rule of law, scrutinizing of new bills, and most importantly, as a representative of the people by asking the pertinent questions. I do sincerely wish Mr. Lynda Tabuya, my Maramanaita, all the best in her new endeavor. Mr. Speaker, in 2018, my inspiration to stand in the election was an opportunity to serve the communities and villages whereby I can make a difference in trying to bridge the disparity between urban and rural development. Urban bias exists. Urban bias is the development of urban areas at the expense of rural areas. Thus, the rural communities are at times deprived of much needed development as it is being focused in the urban centers. Mr. Speaker, urban bias has now contributed to a deeper and disturbing economic divide. Economic divide where people in the rural areas are getting poorer compared to people in the urban areas. The urban-rural economic gap is real. It is real and it is growing. The 2019-2020 Household Income and Expenditure Survey is a testament to this, whereby it reported that 42% of the rural community are poor and with 62% of the total poor population. Therefore, there is a real need to invest in our rural communities to ensure an equitable provisioning of resources so that all the people of Fiji can have equal access to much needed human basic rights services, regardless of where they might live. This includes clean water for all, quality education for all, regular supply of electricity to all, quality health services for all, reliable transport and communication services for all. This can be achieved when we have a strong, broad-based economy. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak on COVID, which is still around, which is still here. Firstly, I have expressed my heartfelt condolences to all those who have lost loved ones during the COVID and the Omicron variant pandemic. To all the families of Fiji, please do know that we feel and grieve with you. Sir, I would also like to recognize and acknowledge the enormous work and sacrifice of our first responders in protecting our borders, tending to the sick, resolving contact tracing, conducting screening and vaccinations, and securing our border containment areas. I praise and am grateful to the members of the medical profession, members of the Fiji Police Force, members of the Fiji Military Forces, Fiji Correction Services, civil servants, volunteers, and NGOs. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have acknowledged the enormous effort by our frontliners. Let us lighten their work by being vaccinated. I salute the many people who have been fully vaccinated, and I encourage those who have not had their booster shots to have it for their own safety. To those who have not been inoculated at all, to do this for yourselves, for your loved ones, and for your country. Mr. Speaker, sir, at this point, I would like to thank the people of Taileu South again for putting me here, and I will strive to serve you and all the people of Fiji to the best of my ability. It is at this juncture I wish to highlight the importance of having an electoral system with multiple constituencies instead of the one which we have. Constituencies connects us, the elected representatives, directly to the members of the constituency. We know their needs, we know their strengths, their struggles. It allows us to be accountable to the people who have elected us. In addition, the election battle would be easier to manage and more relatable to the people. This current system is unfair as it allows the candidates with small numbers of votes to be elected to Parliament, riding on very few popular candidates and making the decisions for our country. This needs to change. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thank the honourable member for his maiden speech. I now invite the Honourable Howard Politini to deliver his maiden speech. You have the floor.